Hello, my name is Kylie Viana Garcia, and I am going to be presenting my Luna final project. My topic was on family. So, challenges typically faced with transgender families. Challenges that are typically faced with these families are not always simply just anger towards the individual. In transgender families, you often see denial. The family just don't want to accept the fact that they are coming out to them and want to be identified as a different person. They're having trouble accepting that individual as who they are and what they want to be. Sometimes you often find that the individual is being abused physically and verbally, not always just, physically or verbally. It often happens in both ways. And they do often face a lot of harassments when the family does not accept them. So the picture I chose was a picture I found where this certain individual, um, even for being gay, was attacked. And here you see a picture before and after the attack. So some individuals don't always, how do I say, they don't always react strong when they are being neglected by their families. Some become very depressed. They feel alone. They no longer have someone in their life that, accepts them and loves them that they have found yet. They get neglected. They often are shunned from the family and don't want to be around, or their family does not want them around. They become homeless because they have nowhere else to go. When they become homeless, they often don't know what to do, where to go. So they start either they try to harm themselves, they try to end their lives, or they start using drugs and alcohol to try to cope with that, or simply just don't care about their lives anymore. So, as for Luna's family and how they handled her situation, her sister was very confused at first. She didn't take Luna seriously. From the very beginning of the novel, Luna was very open with her sister Reagan. Reagan was when she first saw Luna in that dress, she was a bit taken back. She did not believe that Luna was serious about it and that she wanted to use that dress for prom. In page 4, you read, I burst into laughter, then clapped a hand over the mouth. So Reagan just pretty much says she laughed at what Luna wanted in that situation. She didn't believe Luna. She thought it was, crazy, but she kind of still went with it and just let Luna be her. Um, you do also see that Reagan was a bit confused. Like even though she accepted, she was a bit confused. She in In another part of the story, she reads, Yeah, I loved her, but I couldn't help it. She was my brother. Although she accepted the fact that, Luna wanted to be called a girl but was a boy, she was like, I still, I love her because she is my sister, brother. Um, but she's still my brother, In her eyes, she still saw Luna as her brother. So in moving on to her mother was always oblivious about Luna. She never really talked to Luna about it. She never really came around once Luna started. I mean, she did live with her family, but she never really showed emotion about Luna's situation and Luna coming out. On the other hand, um, her father never wanted to see it or never saw it. Early in the novel, you see Luna's dad insisting that she plays baseball at the school and goes out of his way to talk to the coach and try to convince the coach to get Luna or Liam on the team. Um, a quote that I saw on page 10 was, he gotta feel open, so this quote is what Luna's father was saying. So he said he got a few open positions. He can't guarantee varsity, but JV for sure. So here he's trying to convince Luna or Liam at that moment to play baseball, and once he found out that Luna was transgender, he was very outraged. He didn't want to accept it. Despite how her family saw her, Luna kept her head held high, even after her father's reaction. She always felt support from her sister. Her sister was always there for her. Um, she did feel a bit scared of coming out at first, but her sister made it easier for her. Um, and you can see throughout the story that Luna does start gaining confidence in who she wants to be and who she is now. So I looked up a couple things on the US news, how families handle these challenges in the US. Often you see families or individuals get kicked out of their home, they become disowned, their family no longer claims them as part of their family. Um, they become neglected by even like family friends or um, just simply like people they thought would always be there for them. Some do have the blessing of having their support from their family and having, that guidance and that love shown. But there's a lot of cases that unfortunately that does not happen. So here you see a man who seemed to be, gay or transgender in clothing, out on the street with nothing but his belongings alone. So I also wanted to look up how transgenders were treated in different parts of the world, and this actually interested me very much. So in Asia, transgender is not put in the corner, but it is not deprived, which means it is not necessarily okay. So the reason being that it is not really put in the corner is because a lot of beautiful transgender women do come from this continent. They're still accepted. They're still accepted from jobs and continue their studies. They have different bathrooms for transgenders to avoid any harassment, humiliation, or discrimination, which I really do like about that. And because a lot of cases you do see where transgenders do get harmed and are put in danger. But in Asia, they have bathrooms specifically for those reasons, which I did find very interesting. Even though they don't necessarily support it, they still, you know, find things to help them out a bit. In Canada, they are very, very supportive. So Canada transgender rights are very strong. The country also pays for trans people's SRS and HRTs, which are hormone replacement therapy medications. In Canada, transgenders can marry cisgenders without any problems, and they can change their gender maker. As for the Middle East, a lot of nations in the Middle East and Africa still criminalize same-sex relationships and only accept binary people. So trans dating is proven to be a challenge. So in the Middle East and Africa, they are still not accepting even gays, and it is still considered to be committing a crime if they do catch you either dating the same sex or try to be transgender. In Arabic countries, they still get punished for same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage is a big crime. You still have to be very discreet in expressing your love for partners of the same sex. in these countries, same-sex unions are not extend. So same-sex unions, if they catch you in Arabic, if they do catch you with the same sex or even interacting, like in a loving manner, they do punish you in as soon as they see that. So they do take it very seriously. Even transgender tourists cannot enter the country. That's one thing that very much did interest me as well as or caught my eye because even if they see people that don't look Arabic or don't, or look even like as white as can be that are transgender, they cannot enter any of those countries. So, how I believe families should handle these challenges is be very supportive no matter what. They don't have to necessarily keep them in their home. They can, say, hey, I don't feel comfortable, be very open on how they feel so that the individual knows. But I feel like if they do want to kick them out, they should at least help them find a new home or help them, get under their feet while they're moving out. I don't necessarily feel like they should be on their own and be kicked out. I do think that everyone should still remember that they are a person. They still have feelings. They still, they're still living, they're still an individual. And just reassure them that they're not alone, and encourage them to find other people that may help them, even if you don't necessarily want to help them yourself, just help them find that at least so you can kind of just leave them on their own and don't have to interact with them. Excuse me. So, my thought on transgenders, I have no hate towards them. To me, they are still people. I personally don't know anyone that is transgender. I did come across a situation where a student was transgender in my high school, but I don't believe they should be harmed, and everyone should definitely consider what they may be going through, even if they don't know that person. They could be going through a hard time at school or at home, but definitely take into consideration on how you treat that certain individual. So situations that I have with transgenders or gay individuals, one of my family members did come out gay, and right off the bat, his brothers didn't no longer accepted him, so he did turn to drugs, unfortunately, which I is one of the big reasons why I believe that even if you're not okay with that situation, you should still at least let them know that you still love them. You don't necessarily have to keep in contact with them 24/7 or, you know, talk to them as much as you used to, but definitely don't make them feel like if they are less or no longer part of the family. Like I said before, an individual in my high school was transgender. She, I'll say she, as she likes to be called Naomi, um, was a transgender in cheer, and which I thought was really cool because she did not care what anyone thought of her, and there were many people that did support her, which was very cool. And you are able to tell and that having people by your side definitely does make a difference. She was very outgoing and was not ashamed at all. So in conclusion, I do believe that transgenders do not deserve the worst. Just like in the novel Luna, she did have people to support her, even though they were taken back like her sister. Her sister Reagan did support her in every way possible. She was, shocked and confused at first, but did not disown her in any way. Her mother, I believe her mother could have put in a little bit more effort to show support for Luna, but again, she did the best she could and didn't necessarily shun her away, which is, not something a child wants to go through. So I believe her mother did an okay job on that part, but her father definitely did not react the way I personally believe people should react.